Michael was beautiful. It's not a word I use generally to describe men, but Michael was beautiful. He had shoulder-length, curly, dark hair. He was muscular, but not muscle-bound. He was lean. It was more like a Greek statue. He had these green eyes with gold flecks, and when he looked at you, when you spoke with him, it wasn't like he was looking at you, it was like he was looking in you. Like he could somehow read what you were thinking before it got muddled up by the words. I thought it was me until I talked with his friends, and they all described it that same way. When he was with you, he was completely with you. He was a painter. And if you looked at his model and looked at his canvas, you'd say, are we seeing the same thing? And then you'd catch it. A piece of detail, a point of contrast, a piece of negative space that defined the form. What he lacked in composition, he more than made up for in vision. And his color palette was described as colors that only exist in a perfect moment of light. I have never seen anything like it before or since. The first time I met him, I was assigned to do a video profile of him. And we went to his studio for 2 days and spent 2 days in his studio among Michael and his friends. And he surrounded himself with talented, funny, intelligent, beautiful people. And to be in that group was to be surrounded by ideas on politics, on sexuality, on everything you could imagine, flying back and forth between these people. And Michael would grab an idea and amplify it, or take another idea and take it apart, but with a keen intelligence and a sense of humor that you never got mad at him for. Michael could hold court among narcissists. Not something you see people do. The second time I met Michael, we went back to do more interviews a few months later. Power was off in his studio. His furniture had been repossessed. The door had been kicked off the hinges. The paintings were gone. What was left was broken or burned. We found Michael in a back room on a dirty old mattress, surrounded by half-eaten cans of food and takeout containers. He was covered in his own filth, and it looked like he hadn't moved in days. So we didn't film that day, we got him to a hospital. The third time I saw Michael, third time I met Michael, was in a psychiatric care facility where he had been diagnosed as bipolar. They were attempting to balance his medication, and they didn't have it right. When we first saw him, he was catatonic. He became barely sensate, and at the end, he was a caged animal, blaming everybody else for holding him there. And that intellect was now turned outward as a weapon against everybody. If you had an insecurity, if you had something that you were worried about, he'd find it and he'd use it to hurt you. The last time I saw Michael, he was living in a group home. They had found a balance for his medication. And the Greek god was replaced with a round, doughy face and a mind that could barely finish a sentence. He had gotten a job working for an IT company in customer service, and when he'd get calls, if he could follow the script, he could keep up, but if he couldn't, he'd get afraid and hang up. One of the last questions I asked him was, "What do you like about your new life?" And he said, "I dream in the most beautiful colors. I don't know if we're an eternal spirit trapped in a body, or whether we're a bag of chemicals reacting to electrical impulses. Maybe it's both, maybe it's neither. I don't know if what we did to Michael was cure him or just make him more convenient for our society. But I do know that something magnificent was lost in the process." Sweet dreams, buddy. Thank you.